What's going on, guys? This is Livin here, and I'm going to give you guys some Zarishan gameplay today. And I'm going to do another one of my please grab this weapon videos where I think that this specific weapon on this map will definitely help you do very well on this map. And what we got here on Zarishan is definitely going to be the Villa Perosa. An elite class I haven't really gotten much to get around with, but with this map and how it's laid out, I think if you grab this weapon, you're definitely going to help your teammate out like a whole lot. Because just again, I'm going to go into a lot of detail what this map is and how it works out very well for this kit. You're going to see me here grab the cavalry class to get up there really quick, and I'm going to make a push in immediately over here down over there by their other flag and start picking them off from behind. Now I know the big meta still is for everyone to push right down the B. I'm really not concerned about it. As you can see, I'm just going to start mowing down a bunch of people just because even though they're capping B, I have all of my teammates coming out of C and going to make a very large push, and there's only like one or two guys around there. So again, I'm not really too concerned about B. I'm more concerned about grabbing this kit because when you grab this kit here, you're basically able to hold down one flag by yourself basically with this kit. Given of course you're not swarmed by too many players, but you're basically able to basically just hold down one flag, and there's only 3 flags on the map, right? So really, if you're able to grab this kit and maintain it pretty well, and also if you have a good squad, in this situation I leave my horse right around here, so I'm able to keep dropping ammo and health for me. You're able then to prolong your life a little bit longer. So you can see my teammates are already there, already pushing B. I had just basically destroyed a bunch of them right there from making that really strong push. Because like I said, there's only going to be about 2 max cavalry players that are going to be in B to cap it. The rest of everyone else is going to swarm. So if you're able to get out in time, you get to the enemy base, you start flanking from behind, and they're too much in confusion, not really realizing what's going on yet. So you're really not going to be too concerned unless you do something really dumb at the very beginning to get yourself killed very fast. What you do have to be concerned about is after you make that wave, when you just completely destroyed everyone, which is what I basically did right now. They're now going to be aware of this, and so now they're going to kind of be hunting you. And this weapon is not a very good weapon to deal with multiple enemies coming after you. So it's a very good weapon if you're going one-on-one against anyone. It's the most powerful weapon that I think is in the game, as far as I'm concerned, just because of the fact that even if you're going up against a trench raider class, you'll completely melt a trench raider class or even the other sentry class with this gun. So you can go against all the other elite classes and take them out instantly. It's just the problem is you only have so many bullets with it, and you're going to run out really quick, and you can't mow them all the way down like you would do with the AMG 0815, where you could just completely keep shooting over and over again. So so basically what I was able to do was I was able to hold them back. Again, my teammates pushed up, and by them being able to push up and take B, I was able to clear them out from behind. I didn't push up all the way to B to A yet, just because I was waiting for my teammates to come, because I knew the spawns were going to swap now. Now I knew no longer if they were spawning by B, they were going to spawn by A. So again, I'm being sensitive not to throw myself into the fire. So I think if you can basically hold yourself from not going into the fire, you're going to be pretty good off with this kit. This is a good kit to go around, kill one guy, move around, kill another guy, move around. I don't want to get too caught up where I see a bunch of people coming. If I see them all coming right now, I'm going to move back, get back around my teammates. But again, if they start pushing down to cap B, I'm okay, because I'll still come over here and I can cap A basically by myself if they start getting spread up. So as long as they're not all the enemy players are not all bunched up, I could take this own base and hold it down basically by myself. So now a lot of them are over here, so I'm gonna start moving back a little bit because they just capped B. I'm not really sure what my teammates are doing. I think they're gonna be pushing back over there to B, trying to hold down B. So I'm just gonna come back over here, probably get myself some more ammo, refuel myself up here a little bit. So yeah, it's basically what I've been doing a lot lately with this strat. I've been not even bothering going to B, as much as it kind of might ruin the gameplay out a little bit, because B is such a, you have a damn cathedral right there, right? So the thing looks awesome, and it's something I would want to play in. But I've just noticed it's just a huge, just complete chaos when you're in there, especially with this weapon, because everyone's there, everyone's shooting at you, and they all just bombarding you from different angles. It's better off just to kind of move out, spread the map up, flank from behind over here, and start capping their base. So as of right now, I'm having some teammates squad spawns onto me. I notice them taking C. I'm not too concerned right now. Even though they're taking C, just because I'm over here, I got my squad spawns with my teammates, and I want them to essentially kind of spread themselves out a little bit. See, the more they spread themselves out and they don't all bombard me at once, the better chance I have. So I'm just kind of slowing down. I'm not going to panic really, seeing what my teammates are doing, because even though we were losing it, we start bringing it back. So we start bringing back to C and to B. Now, of course, if I see them completely cap C and B, and I see it holding there for, you know, like a minute, then I'm going to have a good idea to understand that my teammates kind of are in bad shape, and I'm probably going to want to come over here and push over to A and try to make something happen at A. But in this situation here, I didn't really need to do it. Again, I'm just avoiding all of that huge cluster of people attacking me, and now A's more, you know, A's more spread out now. There's only like 1 or 2 guys on here, so now it's easier for me to come up here and attack. So I'm kind of coming in. It's very much how the weapon is played out. It's just very much of a burst weapon. So that's kind of how I'm playing with it. Just coming out with burst right now. Again, still kind of new with this weapon. I know without, you know, the vanilla maps, you had a popular map, Montegrappa, where you use this weapon a lot. I didn't use that weapon a lot on that map just mainly because of the 3 flags that were down below. There would be a lot of tanks that would roll past between C and would go between that tunnel, and then all the other flags that were down there at the bottom of the map. And so I would mainly run assault class on that map, just because I felt like I needed to take the tanks out, because the tanks could control 3 of the flags, and there's only 2 flags up top. So even if someone had the Villa Perosa dominating up top, they could only dominate up top, which was only 2 flags, right? So I didn't have to be too concerned about that. If I could control 3 of them, 3 is going to beat 2 every single time. But in this map right here, this map is I don't have to deal with tanks at all, really. And the tanks, I mean, the tanks you do have to deal with aren't really that impactful in the map, only being the land ships. And the fact as well too that the map is very small in the sense of there's only 3 flags. So I mean, point A to point B isn't as close as it would be like on a Forte Vaux, where I think the MGO 815 does a very good job on that map. It's the only map that I've ever had a 100 kill game on, and it was using that weapon. So if you want to see about the reasons of why I like that weapon on that map, I will link it in the annotation above. You can go check that out on why I think the MGO 8 works perfectly on that map. But for this map, point A and point B are a little bit farther, it feels like, than it would be on a Forte Vaux, but there's only 3 flags on this map, so I'm basically able to control, again, 1 flag if I need to, and hold it down. So I'm going to come over here, push over here to B a little bit, because we've held everything else down very well. I'm going to kind of sneak in, see if I can pick some people off. I don't want to go too deep in here, especially because I see a good flare my teammates have, so they're all up there up top on the right. I want to be very careful just because of the fact that they are going to start spawning outside right now, right? So they're trying to spawn on the B right now, trying to get into B, and they're going to start spawning outside, so they're going to be coming in from behind me. So you want to be very sensitive to the fact that they're going to start coming outside, and they're going to come up from behind you, and that's where you can easily get yourself bayonet charged, shot in the back, and just overpowered completely by too many players. Again, I feel more comfortable going up against 2 or 3 people right now with this weapon. The closer you get with people, you barely tap your trigger and you'll take them out. So I'm trying to extend my life a little bit better with the shots on the actual clips. Like I'm sure there's a lot of people who are more fine-tuned with the weapon and can do it much better than me. But just for the average person who's probably just picking this up, going to want to use this, you know, getting the 2 to 3 kills is a good start, and then trying to extend that life a little bit more. As you can see, I'm getting shot from behind. This is what I was a little bit concerned about. He's a little bit out of my range there. It's not a very good far-range weapon, unfortunately, so it's a little bit of where it hinders. The close range is where they're going to dominate at, and I can quickly, as I do a little bunny hop right there, I can quickly, you know, do a quick tap and shoot them and take them out. So, again, I'm just, watching it from behind. So I see us taking B, which is what I wanted. So now I can come back over here towards A, and I'm not going to push all the way in, because now all of them are going to flow out. And I'm going to be bombarded by all of them, and I'm not even at full health. So I'm just going to come over here. I'm trying to want to be as quiet as possible, because they can hear your steps all around here. So it probably would be better if I was crouching, but I'm just going to come up behind and just start picking them off a little bit. Now, I think in this situation here, I pushed a little bit too hard, and yeah, I wasn't able to get myself in good enough position here. So now they're all going to start coming, and this is what the problem was, of why I want to be very careful about not pushing too hard. And unfortunately, because I pushed a little bit too hard there, and my teammates were having a little problem getting B, now they all come at me, and I think I would have been fine here, but the problem was I wasn't quite able to. I wanted to drop down, and I just got stuck on the wall, which is usually my nemesis of why I die all the time. And it's because I get stuck on the actual just the way the map's laid out. I get stuck. Movement is always my Achilles heel on every game. I tell you what, if I could get my movement down and move to where I want to move, how I want to do it. I've made this mention before for all you people who can jump and get out of the map and do all those type of things. I completely applaud you, because that's, to me, it's amazing. Those little simple things. I always find myself getting stuck on a little rock or something like that, ends up getting me killed, which in that situation there. But I've had situations like this before where I'll just drop down and just get me out of that. It'll get me out of that area right there. I'll drop down, go back in the tunnel, and I'll just loop myself back around. Again, all I need to do is be battling like one guy at a time. Even if I don't have ammo, I can at least melee him, right? So I can take my melee weapon and start meleeing him, which is a good call, because if you don't melee him and you're trying to reload your weapon, he may try meleeing you. And if you're with only like 50% of health left, that's enough for him to easily be able to animate you and use the melee animation where he's able to kill you. So you kind of want to make sure you're meleeing him. But again, if you're going against one guy, you don't have to be concerned about that. You get in an uncomfortable situation when you're trying to melee someone. You got two guys there, right? So now, all we need to know for sure is now that it's a 5-minute respawn for that weapon. So it's gonna be 5 minutes to that weapon that I respawn back in. So I respawn back in at a 10-minute something mark. So it should be coming back in at 15 something. So yeah, just remember it's gonna be a 5-minute respawn time for that weapon. I believe as well too for the Flame Trooper on the other side. It's the same weapon for that as well. But I do again believe that this weapon is going to be way more superior than the Flame Trooper class, and if the Flame Trooper class goes against this weapon, as long as you're not getting caught on fire, you're going to get melted much faster. Or it might be pretty equal. I just think and the Flame Trooper class can melt you pretty quick as well too if you're getting hit by it, completely 100%. But again, I feel like this weapon's being utilized way more. I've already had people who've come in to my stream talking to me about it on Twitch when I stream. Talking about, they've had people that were, they grabbed the kid, they just camped up there in B, and they just kept going on streaks, and that happens too. I've seen it myself when I was playing on the CTE where people were grabbing it, and they went on streaks as well too. So again, it's one of those things where I feel like, again, the weapon is going to carry you a lot more than that's. Not saying they're not good players, because if you're a smart player to grab this, that's why I'm trying to recommend people to grab it, but you have a lot of mercy to get by with a lot. This is the way the weapon is and how the map is laid out. You gotta have more than, it's not just one thing, not only just one weapon. It's their positioning, how the map is laid out, all these little things that come into one thing that's gonna make it work out very well. So and I feel like this map does that very well and allows you just to not, again, I don't have to move very far away because there's only 3 flags, so I can, I don't have to be concerned about the lack of speed that this weapon has. Again, this weapon doesn't allow you to move very quickly, and so you have that ability there where if you have a larger map, right, if you're trying to get from point A to point B, they could be very spaced out far away from each other, and you could take literally an hour to try to get there because your speed on this weapon is so slow. On this map, I don't have to be concerned about that, again, like I said, because there's only 3 flags, right? So if I hold down one of the flags, I'm a third of the map, and if I can hold down a little bit more than just that one flag, kind of maybe bounce and trigger out, shoot some people might be around, trying to push up to B, I'm almost getting to almost half the map, basically. So it's just, again, definitely something you want to use. And, if you can utilize horses better as well, too, to kind of heal yourself as well. I like starting off the game with the cavalry class. I know that might kind of be the kind of thing you don't do, because a lot of people are still pushing up in the middle there. I'm not concerned. And again, I've even seen this too where I'm playing against games where they're not balanced very well, and my team's just getting destroyed. And I've noticed that when I have the kit, the moment I die with it, that's when we get completely overpowered. Like, we're somehow staying in the game, even though we're kind of probably still going to lose. But at least it's going to be kind of a close game where it might be 1,000 to 900, and I've kind of somewhat kept it in the game. But the moment I die with it, then it just disappears, and we end up dying and losing to like 1,000 to 700 or 600 or something like that. So I've had games like that. Very interesting to note that I have yet to have a game, or even gotten to like destroy the team far enough where we capped all 3 of the bases, where we triple capped the enemy team. I haven't had that happen yet. So it's kind of interesting to see that the map hasn't changed from what it doesn't feel like it's changed that much from the update. now at all, really. I got the spawn things about to spawn up here right now at the 15-minute mark-ish. So get ready for me to run over there and pick that up. So that's why I'm pushing over here kind of a little bit, making sure to pick off anyone who's out over here. And of course, I don't remember the specific time, so I come over here a little bit too early, so I end up camping a little bit longer than I would have liked to, because I didn't remember the exact time. It was like 15:4. If it was like I died at 10:14, there we go. Actually, I got it pretty well. 10:50, so I must have remembered it pretty well there. So sometimes I miss those extra digits there, the second marks, and I miss it a little bit where I spend a little bit longer than I want to be there. But I generally know the minute mark that I need to be on. So now, like I was saying, this map doesn't feel like it changed much from the CT at all. If I'm missing something like obvious and I just can't see it, but it doesn't feel like it is, and it feels like pretty much the exact same thing for the CT. I wonder if there's maybe more. There's some things in the CT I still don't know about, maybe with team balancing or things like that. Because there was such an issue on the CT where, again, you were having the cyanide problem. Now, I played a good amount of some games on Zar Richen already, and I haven't had really that problem at all from either side. So as I'm getting blasted, unfortunately, I got myself caught out a little bit too far in the open out here, and that's a little bit of a danger. I was trying to push up. As you can see, we had B and C, so I was trying to push up and try to get back to that same spot. And so it's always, for me, it's always trying to make it to that point. I'm always have these spots on the map I'm trying to beat the enemy team towards to, and that's the one spot up there, right up where that doorway is at, because I have a good enough position and covering, and a good angle to shoot people at. But I wasn't quite able to get it, so I'll just say, okay, I'm going to stay over here in B and hold down B for a while. And I know it's kind of the popular thing a lot of people like doing, is coming up in here and holding down B. You can do that as well too. If you want to go do that. Again, I like to kind of work out from behind, because I feel like B is a very much center focus where everyone wants to go at, and you're just going to get bombarded over and over. As you can see, I'm just getting completely shot at by everyone right now. So, this is coming at me non-stop. And I could go up top, I'm sure, but I'm not. Again, if I go up top, I'm not on the actual B part, holding down B. And of course, I can shoot the people coming onto B, but again, I feel a little bit too far range for this weapon. So, it kind of might ruin the experience a little bit, but at least you'll win the game, I feel like, or have a better chance on it. Like I said, as you can see, they're just coming non-stop at me. They're just coming non-stop. So this is exactly what ends up happening for me when I'm over here down in B. So this is why they were pushing down, and why I kind of like trying to avoid as much as I can, because again, even if I lose, this is another situation where I made mentions before with Trench Raider class. Even if you have to pull back, it's okay. You might lose that one battle, but you're gonna win the next 10. So, who cares if you lose one battle here? You're gonna win the next 10 of them. So if you have to move back, move back. Better you to keep the kit in your hands. And again, even if you die with it, remember the moment you respawn back in the game. So if I die at the 10-minute mark, it's not going to start at the 10-minute mark. It's going to only start when I spawn back in. So when you spawn back in 10 seconds later or whatever, it's going to spawn then 5 minutes from there. So if you come back in the game at the 10-minute, 10-second mark, it's going to spawn back into the game at the 15-minute, 10-second mark. So that's how the spawns work for this kit on this map. So that's what you want to be aware of. And again, like I said, I love this map. This is definitely going to be my favorite map right now. As far as I'm concerned, I'm very much enjoying this map. I think I've leaned a lot closer more into the smaller maps. I've been enjoying a lot more with the smaller flags and everything like that. It's kind of been my favorite for right now. As much as maps like Sinai are very aesthetically pleasing maps, in my opinion. I'm very much enjoying the play style of these smaller maps. I guess coming out of They Shall Not Pass and playing a lot of Fort de Vaux and Verdun Heights and stuff like that. I've just kind of been more enjoying the smaller maps. So again, I made it up here from behind. They have a flank from behind. I'm getting shot from behind a little bit too, but I'm not too concerned. I only think one guy saw me. You want to be very kind of careful when you see a lot of people and trying to pick your targets of who you want to shoot. Because you kill one guy and everyone knows you're there, right? So sometimes I kind of want to be careful too when they're coming out of that door from underneath, not to always kill the first guy. Sometimes kind of listen and see how many guys are there. If you hear a lot of footsteps, probably don't want to kill the first guy as the bayonet charge. Forgot about that death. The bayonet charge. Still my Achilles heel next to a movement. Tell you what, the range of that thing is insane. That's what you want to be very careful of about those doors. I actually had a crazy incident as well too, where I was in the room and someone ran bayonet charged in the room, and it's just the distance that charge animates you and gets and stabs you where you can't shoot is it's a pretty good range in my opinion. So when you're with some of those elite classes and someone's trying to bayonet charge, you might need a little bit more room. So be a little bit careful of that when you're in those rooms and in those doorways of that reason there. That's why I made such a big deal about that when I did Trench Raider classes. I did another video too of grab this weapon on the Vel Knights with the Trench Raider class. I'll link down the annotations as well too. Why that worked out well for Vel Knights, but I also made mention a lot of that before, that you definitely want to avoid those tight spaces, because it, like in trenches with the Trench Raider class, even though it's called a Trench Raider class, because the fact of the bayonet charge, you can't move laterally and get away from that situation, and so you do want to kind of be a little bit careful of that. As I leave them some dynamite there just in case, because I know they're about to push out. I know they're about to cap A over here, and I wasn't too much. I was playing a lot of in between the actual flag. So in this situation here, on this map, I didn't have to really push too hard because my teammates did a good job pushing on the flag. I had better teammates on this round. Other rounds where I have less better teammates, I have to get on the flag more because we're losing, and I got to get on the flag. I didn't have to do that much this round because again we had 2 out of 3, and I was just able to kind of float around and just kind of float around really from the from in between the areas. Because again, if I would have pushed too hard at the A, tried to triple cap them, the whole team would have swarmed me and I would have died. If I would have stayed back too far away, I don't think I would have utilized my kit as well, right? Because if I'm battling people while my teammates are there, how much damage could I be doing if I'm battling everyone by myself, which I really much was trying to extend the kit out as much as I could. So which is what I was doing in this game, trying to maximize and utilize as much as I could of everything I do with the kit, as I rack up a quick 2 deaths right there, just trying to get into the trying to get in the battle more. But yeah, that's basically it for you guys there. That was some Zarishan gameplay on Please Grab This Weapon. Again, I feel like this weapon is going to be utilized very well. I try to give my reasons out on why you should be grabbing this weapon. I've seen, again, a lot of people, some people using it. Not as much when I'm playing, because I'm making sure to make that push immediately right there to go grab it with my class, Cavalry class, and seeing what damage I can do from there. But I've seen it a couple times here and there. I've heard a lot of people talk about it as well too. So again, definitely a weapon I would recommend grabbing. Definitely an awesome map. I think for sure it's going to be one of my favorite maps right now. I think generally just in the whole game overall. It'd be probably one of my top maps. So definitely a fun map. Hope you guys are enjoying the They Shall Not Pass, the name of the Tsar. And I'm glad that you guys are still around checking out my videos. Again, feel free to comment down below. Anything you feel like saying, I'm always checking the comments. And that's basically it for you guys today. I will see you guys again later. Peace.